Hey Ash,
Hey,
how are you
how's it?
doing? hmm
Yeah, you?
I've been thinking about it. I'm caffeinated and I'm ready to be duplicated.
Oof, you are lining these up something fierce. Yes, yes, that. I'm gonna take some of that energy and put it in my cup, and that's now I'm
Boink!
also. Oh, is that a new
Welcome back,
animation?
everybody.
Hey,
Maybe
hey.
every time we're just making it easier for future selves to cut and edit this. Welcome
This
back, folks.
nonsense.
It's time for
Hey.
another damn session. Good session. We talk some shit because we like to get into some shit because we tired of shit.
Boof about what the F UX. So for those. Yeah. Oh, we're so anyone who knows or has been here before, we got a wheel of topics. For those who don't, we have a lot of topics we want to get into because we keep asking ourselves and each other, well, what the FUX? So we made a wheel of fortune, animations enter now, that we spin to get at what we're going to be about today. So we
hmm
always approach every topic on the honest, and let's see where we land today. You ready? You Vannaing, my Vanna?
I'm always
A
vanning.
boof.
I'm always vanning.
Yes,
Ing, 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 ing,
loving.
ing, 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 ing,
It's a
ing.
verb
Vanna
now.
does the. It is. It
Maybe it
is.
never wasn't. Ha.
Oh, how behind are we? 2023.
The year of the
Thought we were ahead
Vannaing.
of. Vamping Vanna in.
Wheel.
Of US. What the F US?
Beep bop boo bop. Today's topic. Get ready for your beep. The
hmm
fuck is this? The fuck is that? Definitions in UX. Who am I? Beats me.
Definitions. Definitions that could be interpreted in a number of ways. Okay, so definitions in terms of titles. Why don't we choose our interpretations and run with it? When I hear it, it makes me think of terminology. Like, okay, here's some tea. When on the one hand, it's fun. It's fun for our folk to like, let's do a job shadowing study. I think it'll allow us to like really glean some insights. But then stakeholders and other folk, they'll be like, well, okay, this is your when did this become take your kid to work day? Um, in on the alternative, flowering our conversations, peppering our conversations with loads of design and research jargon. I don't know, like it's fun to use it, but if it doesn't hit, if the other party isn't able to absorb and digest, then what's the point? So
Yeah.
it's on us to make sure that we're communicating on a frequency that's accessible to people who don't do what we do. Does it mean that we are contributing to the folk that talk the talk but don't know how to walk it? I don't want to take that on, but that's what I feel. That's what I think of when I hear definitions.
So I think you're raising a couple really important different branches of this topic, right? So one is the job titling. So the difference between a product designer, a UX designer, a UX architect, a UI
Okay.
designer. Like, so there's layers and
Mm,
flavors and different
mhm.
approaches. When you talk, then the second point around, like, if you were to look at a job description for each of those categories, they each have different ideas of what the person should be doing, even if it's the same title. Like UX designer might have six different kind of job applications, right? So when we talk about definitions, expectations might be that middle one, and then the next one, to your point around definitions in general, the terms we use, and like when you said about communicating, I don't know that we might be speaking. Speech and communication are not the same thing. Communicating means we, on both ends, know exactly what's happening. The words we choose to use are the words that are being used. And so when we don't define out, like, I positively hate acronyms because everyone has a different meaning. Like if you go to this background to a different background in different industries, each of those acronyms means something different. And jargon and acronyms are isolating. They're meant to be othering. in terms of knowledge. And so I think we've got each of those three flavors, but we don't have, you know, I don't have a preference. I think maybe we just kind of discussed pretty quickly about the need for defining what the heck or what the F UX.
Yeah.
How do you feel on that?
I think I'm hungry, and in all the ways. I'm hungry to get into this. So
Cool.
I'm excited about job descriptions. I'm excited about title roles, and I'm excited about speaking and communicating.
Boop. Get in it. You do it.
Cool.
Go.
So first thing I really want to talk about is titles and role, like titles and roles and so on. So in design, maybe it's the same for you. Tell me if you heard this one. How often do you see a job posting with a title and a description that matches another description, but all three, for example, have different roles? And it's like, which one applies to me? Am I really who I am? Am I a senior? Am I really who I thought I am? It's like, what is? I feel like there's something in there, but it's like I don't know. Am I a Charmander or am I Charizard? I don't know. So
Right? Yes. And I think that probably is the biggest point of this convo is it's like, well, who am I and who am I expected to be? And so one of the things we got to get at is like, it's okay if you want to have emphasis in these areas. I'm not saying one needs to prevail over the other, but the jobs are very different. And, you know, even working within quant is very different. We all program or code or do our analytics in different tools. And so R is not the same writing as SPSS is not the same as writing in SQL is not the same as all these other incantations. And a lot of it can be done in like things like Excel and Sheets. So I think when we're talking about UX research, like we should almost, and maybe even for design, and you can speak to this better, but maybe be more high level about it. We seem to be getting this weirdness of like people are giving us different names for the job, different titles, and then different roles within. But I wonder if it speaks to what we spoke about last time, episode 2, like and subscribe, about UX immaturity. So the fact that we're seeing such enormous variability and inconsistency in what the roles are, I think speaks to an absence of a core set of what it is that we do and the awareness of what it is that we do and what we bring. If you want a researcher, hire someone who knows how to get answers and ask questions. That's what's up. How we do it is really rather secondary.
Correct.
Is this a microphone emoji thing again?
Yep. I think it is. Drop it.
Damn. I wanted to say like it's hot, but I'm gross.
You know, this is our fucking show. After
Fantastic.
you pick it up and stop. Anyways, that was awesome. So, yes, I will encourage you. I don't know how much caffeine is in this peppermint tea, but I give 0 fucks. Energy. So yes, it can be very blurry for it. Like it's similar to your scenario with I don't know. I've been in it for so long. I haven't thought too deeply about it. But when I look at 3 roles that have similar descriptions but have 3 different titles, whether it's UX designer, senior UX designer, or product, let's get like UX designer, product designer, UX UI, UI UX, visual design. What is it? There's also UX architect.
Yeah, I've seen that. I'm like, I don't know.
And those depending on who wrote it and what the real need is, you have to find out how much weight that particular scenario has. So when I look at a role and positive shout out to Tanner Christensen, he's at Netflix as a product designer. His distinction, he's fully a senior or probably like a lead, but it is product. And so I loved seeing that. I feel like that was potentially a conscious decision, and perhaps like maybe to your point where the ranking system in his scenario was irrelevant. The work is the work, and maybe that was a conversation. I think that could, like that kind of just like free like I know that there's a distinction between graphic designer and a user experience designer, but what would it be like if companies that didn't know simply said they needed a designer, and then they broke it down into perhaps their high level description and so on? I'm not saying that's the solution, but what if people just started with what they knew, where they were at?
Okay, yep. And all the I'm putting my finger on the one on the calculator. All the ones plus one.
I'm going to figure that out.
But yes, and also kind of like coming back to how UXers like us folk solve problems. What if instead of saying the things they expect you to bring to the table, they say the problem they got, right? We're problem solvers. So if they're like, we're having trouble with this and this is what we would like. So the job descriptions are always telling us what we need, but they're not saying what they want. If they said what they want, the people would come like us and I'd show up and I'd be like, hi, here's how I'd approach that. And it vibes or it doesn't. Maybe the problem with how these job descriptions and titles and everything else is that we have this really super mega human, it's a neuroscience thing, of wanting to hyper categorize everything because that's how we make sense of the world. Okie dokes. I think it's not serving us in this moment. We're kind of getting so hyper specific that we're creating imaginary boundaries, and we're also creating expectations that are never set. It's this constantly shifting target. So maybe the opportunity space here is when you're looking to hire someone in UX, when we're talking about, well, what are these definitions and these needs, is tell us what you want. And people who feel like they could answer it will come. And I know I'm speaking out of turn because I do run a business, but like, I think there's a lot of this like idea of like not wanting to show vulnerability about what your needs are as a company, but you're trying to hire problem solvers. And tell us, at least in degrees, what the problem is, and then let us solve it for you. We don't need to be schooled on how.
Can
Please.
I offer a semi-counter?
Of course.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I was sensing. No, I don't hate it. I was checking my feelings, and my feelings were like, what if a company puts up the problem or the need, and while we love that, we would love to see that, my mind immediately would go to, oh, I do have a solution, a potential solution or a way to approach it. But if I put my energy into this, and their competitor, my candidate competitors are also doing the same thing, is this akin to spec work?
Got it.
Am I giving too much of myself? So I wonder about that. I like your idea, but then part of me got a little scared.
No.
You know?
Okay, to qualify, you are right. And so that leads me to a better place. Thank you. This is where like the making sure people, this is what psychological safety is, by the way, in the workplace, where you're able to air stuff like this and then you both grow from it. Nice. Because with that, I hear you. And so I adjust my point that they can say what they need, but the expectation should not be that you solve it for them in the hiring process. It's to give an insight into whether someone would want to approach that space. But the interview itself, the hiring process would not include that kind of like solve the problem for us now. It's more about saying like, generally speaking, we have problems with A, B, and C, right?
Yes.
We would like to explore your high level take, not come in and like, here's the homework. Please go do it for us.
Can we please find a way to get rid of that? The pressure alone, especially for people trying to break in.
Oopsies. Hey there. Hey. Hi. So we spilled some chili. We had more. We wanted to say more. We wanted to do more. But we're going to fill in with an abrupt ending to this episode because, the elevator wasn't working and we spilled everything all over the floor. Peace out.
Sorry.
Oops. Abrupt ending.
Yeah. Cool. If you want to let us know if you think we hit it, here is our... if we hit the mark, here's our email address. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, ideas, topic ideas.
Thanks for coming with us on this ride. And we're still hungry.
See you next time.
So
I'm still hungry. I'm still Chris. So.
And I'm still Ashley. All right. And we need a sign off that isn't shit.
Shit.